everybody, and welcome to the annual How to Make Universe Mode Fun. This year, looking at WWE 2K25. For those of us that loved Universe Mode back in SVR 2011 and WWE 12, and just haven't felt like we've had the same experience with it, honestly, since then, and we're trying to either recreate some of that fun or just get some longevity and enjoyment out of Universe Mode in WWE 2K25. This video is for you. I'm going to try to make it super short and concise just to get you into it. But stay tuned at the end for a pretty cool announcement. Hopefully this helps you out. So first off, we're going to talk about just when you start Universe Mode, it's going to ask you if you want to do the Superstar mode or the Classic mode. I recommend the Classic Sandbox mode. Superstar mode, I don't think is that great. Even if you want to take a individual superstar, whether it's a created superstar or a current roster person, and you just want to focus on them, I would say still use the Classic Sandbox mode. Just play the matches that you're auto booked in. So yeah, Classic mode for sure. I set up a Universe mode because I kind of want to show you everything in action here. But first, when you start Universe mode, go into options, turn off automatic rivalries here. The automatic rivalries that they book are not great. So you are going to have to do a little bit of manual booking yourself. But really, it's just setting up the rivalries. You aren't going to have to set up rivalry actions or matches or anything along that line. So this is what I would say is the most kind of automated way you can do it, but it's just a little bit of manual effort here. The automatic rivalries that'll set up are just going to be random between people. The rivalries we're going to set up are between champs and number one contenders. So it actually builds that rivalry to a title match at the pay-per-view here. The other settings that you're going to want to change are probably just the AI announce cash-in rate for Money in the Bank. I haven't experienced Money in the Bank in Universe mode yet. I'm still just in month one here, but I know this has always been a problem. If you have this up, they will just announce it like the first show after Money in the Bank. It'll just set it up. So if you don't want that, which I don't know who does, turn that off and then keep the other two. You can turn them down a little bit or leave them where they're at, but at least those will give you some excitement with the AI cash-ins. So after you do that, you could probably edit your rosters next. So coming through here, if you want to change people over and stuff, now's your time to do it. I would say don't worry about allies and enemies here on the roster at all. People that say you got to clear them completely, or if you are like, oh, I want to set it up to mimic, the current product with who's friends, who's enemies, don't worry about it. This allies enemy system is really just for play now exhibition mode, where you actually have random run-ins. You could set those up, in Universe mode, everything's driven off the rivalries and the rivalry actions that are set up. So ignore it here. Don't waste your time trying to clear it out or adjust them. The only thing you want to really worry about here is maybe if they're a face or a heel or their crowd reaction, cheer, boo. If you're setting up a rivalry and you don't want to do heel or face and you want it to be face heel, you can either set it up that way or you could just come in here and I would change that here. And then also the crowd reaction, because if you have a rivalry and both their crowd reactions are boo, it's kind of awkward because the crowd just boos the whole time. The whole cutscenes, the whole match, it's kind of weird. So next thing you want to do once you get through with that is just edit your shows. And really, what you want to do here is just crank up your number of matches to the max of 9. They changed this all to default at 5, which I'm fine with. But if you want a lot of movement in your divisions, crank that up to 9 and just simulate all the matches that don't have any rivalry actions associated with them. You'll get some good movement then. I mean, yeah, you don't like the matches that don't have rivalry actions. They're not going to have anything going on them. They're just going to be a typical standard match. The other thing that you want to do here is if you have any championships you want to edit, go ahead and do that now. Don't worry about the power rankings. Let those happen kind of naturally. Again, as you have a lot of matches happening, your power rankings are going to move around a lot. So let that just happen naturally. And then the last thing you want to do is edit your divisions. First off, check this other tab and make sure there's nobody there. If there's people in here, they're not going to get auto booked on your shows. So make sure they're assigned at least to one of these divisions. And then we're going to set up rivalries based off of our number one contenders in the divisions and the champs. And we're going to do it in that order too. We're going to do number one contender first and then champion when you set it up. Again, it's up to you if you want to get specific and you want to do heel versus face. You don't want to do any heel rivalries or face. Up to you. And honestly, when I set these up, there's only 4 rivalry spots you can set up. And I'm not a huge fan of tag team matches. And it kind of sucks because that means the tag team titles will never really get defended unless you put them on the line yourself. But if you're all right with that, I just do the singles titles. I do the world heavyweight, the main men's title, the main women's title, the intercontinental, minor men's title, and the minor women's title as well. But I mean that's your opportunity to kind of set up any tag team rivalries if you want to along the way. I just like the singles matches, and then again, setting them up is gonna have them build to title matches at the pay-per-views. So make sure you get all those for every show, and then just go into rivalries and set them up. Like I said, set up the contender on the left side, champ on the right side. I had some issues when I flipped it and put the champ first and then the contender, and then start them all at low. And just because you set them at low doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. It's just going to naturally build, and they will naturally increase over time here. So here I simulated to the last week of the first month here after setting up. I set up these rivalries week 1, ran it through Backlash. I would say about half the rivalries ended after Backlash. So then I added some new ones and whatnot. And then I simulated up to here just to kind of show you where we're at. So the rivalry intensity will build over time. You'll have some friendlier cutscenes when it's low, just be a stare down, or it'll be coming out to the stage and clapping to show respect or something. And then it'll naturally build and increase up till the pay-per-view. You'll start getting some actually good cutscenes. And honestly, based off some of the cutscenes, you could then change the match at the pay-per-view. There's some cutscenes where they start to use kind of gimmicks, like a steel cage might come down for one, or they might use a ladder to attack them. So that in my experience with universe mode, I'm like, that is universe mode telling me, hey, this should build to a steel cage match for the championship at the pay-per-view. When you get to the pay-per-view, the pay-per-view is going to go by the match table there. So you might have like one gimmick specialty match type there as your main event, and it might be one of your rivalries, but the other ones will probably all just be like one-on-one. So there's nothing really that happens at the pay-per-views as far as your rivalries. There's no special cutscenes or anything, so you're free to kind of edit those matches a little bit. Again, if it's setting up for a if they're even just attacking each other with like kendo sticks, you're like, okay, maybe this should be like a street fight, no holds barred, extreme rules match, or one of those, And then at the pay-per-view, that's where I'm like, all right, that's where I'll actually edit to kind of make my universe mode make a little bit more sense in how those rivalries go. And then just remember, after the pay-per-views, just check your rivalries, see which ones ended. Some will continue. If you feel like they should have ended and you don't want the same rivalry to continue on, just end it and replace it with a new one. But yeah, after pay-per-views, that's your chance to set up new rivalries. I also don't recommend messing with the weekly show details after you start universe mode. So like Raw, NXT, SmackDown, I don't recommend changing like the arena around or any of the arena images or anything. I did that in my other universe mode and it started giving me some bugs. I'm actually at the King and Queen of the Ring pay-per-view, and it screwed up my Queen of the Ring tournament, where instead of 4 initial matches to set up the semifinals, I only have 3. So I don't know how that's going to play out. It's kind of irritating though that those bugs and glitches still exist. So just be careful with that. But you should be good to edit the pay-per-views before you get to them. Don't get to the pay-per-view and then edit it. It's going to screw everything up for you. Um, as far as universe mode, that's it. I mean, so like let's just take a look at my Monday Night Raw here. So if we start the show, we have a rivalry match right off the bat. I love how they do these rivalries now. It isn't the same 2 people fighting every week. They're going to mix in other matches pretty frequently. So the booking of your rivalries is actually fun in a way where you don't have to play the same match every week. That was a huge issue before. So like for this one, and also the surprise is kind of gone. I would look at these rivalry actions before you start the match and do it in a way that makes sense. So for instance, here with Gunther versus Dirty Dom, there's a mid-match music distraction. So Punk's music is going to hit in the middle of the match. Gunther's going to go over to the ropes to look at the entryway, and then Dominic is going to have a chance to attack. So what I would do here, honestly, is probably play as Dominic, and then when this moment happens, maybe I'll save a finisher. Once this moment happens, I'd try to hit Gunther with the finisher, see if that beats him. If it doesn't, maybe then you can change your controller assignment, like who you're controlling during the match. So maybe I'd flip it over if that didn't work and be like, all right, well then Gunther's still going to win this match despite the distraction. Or you just want to play that way from the get-go. I'd say do that. The whole mystery of like what's going to happen, I would say that's gone. If you want your universe mode to make the most sense, look at the action it's giving you here and then play accordingly to that. So yeah, let's say like Dirty Dom would end up winning that. And then, like I said, these ones that aren't rivalry matches that don't have any actions associated with them, not worth playing at all. There's nothing that's going to happen to them. No run-ins, no interference, nothing at all. I wish they would bring that back, so it would give you a reason to play if somebody was going to run in and interfere at some point, but it's just the rivalry matches. So again, this one, there's a post-match attack. So Ivy Nile is going to enter the ring and attack everybody after the match. So since this is the rivalry, I would play as Dakota Kai, win the match, and then it would make sense that Ivy would just come clean house. It wouldn't really make sense that the number one contender is losing, you know? So just using that kind of stuff, I just simulate that result and look at a picture anyway. So yeah, here, the arena light cut out after the match is over, and then Rhea's behind her and lays her out. So again, Io Sky should win this match, you know? Like, it doesn't make sense that she would lose and then get attacked by Rhea, you know? Like, story-wise, and again, with her being the number one contender, like, sure, you can do that, and you can make that happen. But I just want this to make the most sense with as little like manual input as possible. So anyways, I am having fun with universe mode besides the glitches I've run into. It's super frustrating. Kind of puts a just makes me sad. Makes me not want to play universe mode when my stuff's glitching out. But honestly, this is the most fun I've had with it since they came back with WWE 2K22. I feel like they figured it out. And again, for me and for the people that like the OG universe mode, where it just kind of automatically does your booking and everything in the background, you just get to sit there and enjoy it. I love that. I'm not the manual booker, and I don't like setting all these things up and setting my storylines and setting my rivalry actions. I just want it to do it itself, and I just want to be able to sit back, play, and enjoy it. And honestly, that's a big part of this too, is enjoying playing the matches as well. Because even though you're going to get a cutscene in these matches, you just want to enjoy playing the game. So do what you need to do in order to make that happen. Like for me, I play my weekly shows on hard, so at least it's a little challenging. I turn off reversal indicators, so I'm not reversing everything. It's so easy to reverse things. You could even, tamper with the settings for reversal rate and all that stuff if you wanted to. But I've just found in WWE 2K25, I just really enjoy playing the matches. I enjoy the gameplay aspect of it. I'm not just trying to breeze through the matches just to get to the cutscenes. I want it to be a little challenging. And then when I get to the pay-per-view, I ramp it up to legendary difficulty for all my matches. And usually I'm trying to play as the underdog unless, I want the champ to win. Because usually it's harder to win as the underdog for a lot of these matches. So, but yeah, I mean, all that to say, I'm having fun with Universe Mode this year. The most fun I've had, honestly, since probably like WWE 12. So they're doing good with it. It's still not perfect. It's still not great, but this is just the best way, the easiest way just to get in and play and enjoy it. So yeah, thank you. I hope it helps you. Quick announcement. I am starting a PG wrestling podcast, and basically it's a podcast covering the PG era of wrestling. Whether you liked it or not, I grew up during it, so I'm nostalgic for it, baby. I'm like, oh, I want to watch this. I love watching it. I think it's great compared to the current product. So it's kind of diving into it, seeing, well, was it actually better? Is it just nostalgia? If it was better, what makes it better? So, and it's not just covering WWE in the PG era as well. We're covering TNA as well, which was the second top promotion in the US at the time. They had their own TV deal and everything. And then I'm also recapping Ring of Honor because the guys in Ring of Honor at that time are the wrestlers that we know and love today. Guys like Daniel Bryan, Kevin Steen, who's Kevin Owens, Kenny Omega was in Ring of Honor at that time, and even Tyler Black, who I didn't know that used to be his name, but that's Seth freaking Rollins, baby. He was in Ring of Honor back then. I'm so excited. I've never got to see his indie stuff before he went to NXT and started training there, and then went up to the main roster. So that is out there. If you're interested, guess what? The first episode right now is out with this video. It is recapping the Great American Bash 2008. That is the start of the PG era. So if you're interested, that's available. That's available. Go check it out. It's available on your podcast platforms as well as on this YouTube channel right here. But whether or not you check that out, I just hope this helps you to actually have fun, enjoy Universe Mode. I hope it helped in any way. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Bye.